How's it going, guys? Today I had this sitting around before I bought the truck. It was only 20 bucks. And I figured at some point I would probably change it out. Trailer brake and parking brake valves. Obviously I'll have to push that spring pin out and rotate the knobs, but aside from that, up in the cab here I've got the cover apart, and I was wondering why I wasn't getting heat at my feet when it was cold out. Well, if you look behind here, that hose is pinched off. But I'm going to try and get this assembly out of here and then go from there. I'm going to have to build a plate, obviously. I got a lot of aluminum laying around, so that's not a big deal. But maybe I can fix that heating duct line in there too, but let's get started. Alright, got this nonsense off of here. I pulled up this diagram, which doesn't make a bit of sense to me, but I'm sure it will. Maybe at some point, right? Yeah, okay. These are all 90-degree fittings. Looks like I'm going to have to go to the store I hate so much, Napa, and pay $20 a fitting for some straight fittings. I guess we'll see. This right here, this is an abomination. Whoever did this needs their hands slapped. I'm going to have to take this apart and fix it. Can't wait to pay $7 a fitting for some airline stuff. This is going to be fun. I just dread this store. I'm sorry, guys. $57 for 6 fittings and 10 feet of 3/8 airline. That's about what I figured. Gonna go ahead and get all this stuff assembled, get the valve made up, ready to reinstall, and then we're gonna fabricate a plate for it. Alright, I got the brake valves made up. I need to flip the buttons around, rotate them 90 degrees. But I did some calculations here by taking some measurements, and I need to cut that section out. So I probably have to use a Dremel to do that. We'll get started on that. Well, I got that cut out. Got the handles flipped around. I'm going to do some filing here to clean this up a bit. It's not perfectly square. It's pretty good, but not close enough. So it's a pretty good fit. Not perfect, but for this application it'll probably do just fine. Got to mark holes for drilling and then hit it up with some of my favorite flat black spray paint. Okay, I got some marks on there for drilling. Here's another tip. If you've got some deep holes you need to get into, like these guys, to make marks for drilling, take an old pin that you don't want, pull the tip out of it, and then blow in it on the non-pen end, and it'll make like a little bubble of ink come out, and then just stick it down like in the slot, and then make your mark, and then blow in it again, and then stick it down in the slot, make your mark. And then when you're done, you can either put this in a plastic bag and save it for the next time you need to make mark, or just chuck it in the trash. So anyhow, another tip for you guys. It's gonna look pretty good. These bolt holes, by the way, if you guys pick one of these up, they're 1/4 So any 1/4 hardware that you have that you like the design of will work really good in these holes. Got a first coat of paint on there. While we're waiting for that to dry, let me see if I can explain this to you guys, because I was confused at first, but this is actually really simple to understand. So if you're looking at, which would be, let's see here, the left side, you've got the exhaust line, your tractor brake, and your auxiliary. Your auxiliary gets a plug in it. Your tractor brake gets hooked up to your brake line, and your exhaust line gets hooked to the exhaust line that runs in through the cab behind the heater. I'll show you that here in a minute. This side you've got reservoir 1, reservoir 2. This is basically your supply line. Tee those together. And then you've got your trailer brakes. So let me show you on the truck where all these lines are at. There's only 4 of them that you have to hook up to that. So it's pretty simple. Like, I was confused at first, but it's actually fairly simple. Luckily, my truck's been serviced numerous times, so you can see out of this doohickey here, that's your supply line. The leftmost one of these on the floor is your trailer brake, and then this other one is your parking brake. And these are the only way I really know this is because when I disconnected them, I relabeled them, but they're labeled down here at the supply side. So I basically have to clean these up a little bit, pull them back into the cab, and then we'll hook the air brake back up while we're waiting for the plate to dry. I got all the lines pulled back in. The way to tell your exhaust line, this is going to be really hard to see, guys. It's the one that goes behind the heater. If I can get it to come up, but you see how it routes behind the heater? That's your exhaust line. So you got 3 lines coming from your driver's side footwell, and then one that goes across. I pulled them up on the other side of this hose here so that I actually have heat going down to my feet in the winter, so I can keep my tootsies footsies nice and warm. Anyhow, let's hook this valve back up. Alright, I got all that reconnected. Make sure when you guys are tightening down these air lines on the back that you put a wrench on both sides. You do not want to blast out the side of these plastic air valve housings, because then you're out a whole 20 bucks and you got to find another one. These are pretty prevalent, like I said, on eBay. I think the guy I bought this from raised the price 5 bucks, so they're 25 bucks shipped now. Anyhow, got to go get that plate, then we're gonna fire up the truck, make sure everything works, and then that's it. Alright guys, I repurposed some stainless hardware that I had when I removed things from the shelter. Back when I first got the shelter, there was a ton of stainless hardware and everything, so I took that out, repurposed that here. We're gonna start up the truck and see if the valves work. Fingers crossed I hooked everything up correctly. If not, I guess I'll have to take it apart again and see what I hooked up wrong, but I'm thinking it should be okay. I don't hear any leaking so far, so that's a good sign. I'll come back once the air tanks fill up. I'll come back. Alright guys, air tanks are filled up. Let's give her a test. Oh, good deal. Looks like everything works the way it's supposed to. It's about a $75 mod. That includes all the stuff I bought at Napa. I bought some spare 3/8 line to have with for emergencies out on the trails. I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I got some more parts coming. They might be here today, they might be here tomorrow, so I might make another episode. But that's it for me. I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye bye.